stories. There's some about like work life, blah blah blah. But we're gonna do the deep ones. I just don't have it to give
Oh
today.
Lord.
So y'all know what I mean. Fill in the blanks. So I will start. I'm gonna ask this one.
Okay.
What mistake do you keep making over and over again?
I feel like this is more from last week episode.
Well, maybe it's a good transition.
It is. It is. There are actually a few. I'm not gonna say quite a few, but there are two that's like always reoccurring in my life. Um so for me it's just my finances, just making sure that I'm being a good steward over them. And I feel like I'm still on the journey of learning, how my money works for me and what I need to do to, keep it, how I need to save and things like that. I think that's still something that I'm learning, and to not, live in this life of paycheck to paycheck. And I think I'm getting there, but then there's always something where I'm like, or something unexpected will happen that I'll have to cover. And this
Yeah.
most recent one was my mom's apartment going on fire, so trying to help her the best way that I could. And that's not to say like I was doing a whole lot, because whatever, but just things changed in my life financially, where I'm just trying to make sure that I can figure that stuff out, and how can I make sure that I'm in a good spot and I'm comfortable and not like in this depressed state. And that's
Right.
kind of how it was this summer, which led me to that. Like this summer I didn't
Mm.
work my normal hours, and I wasn't working as much as I was. So this summer was like a wash for me. Like I just did not even feel like myself, because I didn't have the money that I would have liked to have. So just learning from those things and continuing to learn and grow, and to continue to be like, okay, well, what's important and what's not important. And figuring out, other hustles. Like I gotta learn how to be a hustler in this day and age. I mean, it's literally crazy in the economy right now. So I think that's one mistake that I keep making, of not being where I would like to be financially, and kind of going in some of those same cycles that I'm normal to. Like, oh, well, I got it now, so I'm gonna buy it because I want it, and I'll just make it back. But no, like sometimes you got to tell yourself no. And I'm learning to do that slowly but surely.
Boundaries.
Yeah, boundaries with
Listen,
yourself.
respect the budget.
Yeah, respect the
Easier
budget.
said than
It
done.
it is absolutely. And
Yeah.
you want to do things, and it's like, nah, like I could pay this person, or I could do it myself for free, or somebody could do it for free, or just some things like I can't do. Like I can't go eat out every day. Like it's just
Oh
for
no,
no.
that's you can't.
I know, right? I can't.
You said according to the budget.
According to the budget said no, like you can't, or I can't go buy shoes and clothes, like. And also with that, like having to tell JR, like, okay, well, I can't do it right now, just because you want it right now. Like
Mm-hmm.
learning how to not give in to him, because oh, he my only kid, like I feel like he should get it, like he's a good kid, but
Yeah.
not at the expense of not being able to pay a bill. Like that just doesn't work. So
Yeah.
yeah, learning those things and trying not to make that same financial mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I hear you. And I think even it's hard. It's difficult to be disciplined in budgeting if you never were, right?
That's the part.
Because
Or
I
yeah.
too have spent a lot of time being very undisciplined. So it really just it don't matter how much money you make.
Yeah.
It's your
That's what they say. Yep. It's
mentality,
the mentality of it all.
right?
Yep.
And it's like you just want to swipe, swipe, swipe. So swipe, swipe, swipe.
Man, my card is sick of me. Do you hear me? Like sick of me.
But like some things that I've learned, like I try to put boundaries on certain things because I had a problem shopping.
Mhm. Mhm.
So now I resell clothes on Poshmark, and if I don't, whatever, I can only spend money on clothes from that account. So
Mhm.
that's the source of funding.
Yep.
So it's like you probably already have everything you need.
Exactly.
Do you really need another dress? Do you really need more shoes? Do you really need another bag? Probably not.
Yeah. Yep.
Right. So, and if you want it, is if it's not in that account, it could be in another account, but that don't you don't get no credit for that. So
No.
unless it's in this clothing account, you can't get it. You could have $1 million in the other account.
Yep.
You
But
cannot buy this item for 50.
yeah. Yeah. And you gotta obey that.
Boundaries,
Yeah. You have to
yes.
obey that. Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So yeah, I'm
But I
definitely
mean,
getting that.
obviously, having a child makes it more difficult, right? Because then you have a certain level of guilt.
Yeah, like I
Yeah.
really be feeling sad where he be like, "Oh, like I wanted this," and my kid. I mean, he's my only child. He does have a sibling with his dad, but when he comes to my house, he definitely milks that I'm the only kid. Like I should be able to get whatever I want. And he's at the age where he's on social media, like he sees other people's celebrities and stuff. So he's like, "Oh, I want this," and I'm like,
Not for $5,000, you
that
don't.
is out. Like, who's buying it? Like the off-white shoes, and he wanted something else, and I'm like, JR, like, look, that's out, bro. Like, I don't have it, and I'm not buying it. He's like, well, I didn't want it to have it. And it's so funny because he's really like kind in that manner. Like, he's not one of them spoiled kids. You be like, man, I'm mad. Like, I can't get it. He'll just be like, oh, okay, like I get it. Or he'll be like, "Oh, I wanted it so I can sell it and make money off of it. Like, I want you to buy it at this price, and then I was gonna sell it, like trying to flip it, because that's like a big thing with kids, like buying shoes and then selling them, like the resale." So yeah, I was still like, "Nope, I don't got
Well,
it."
has he resold shoes before?
He has a couple that he's tried to resell. Yes,
Yeah.
yeah,
So maybe, it's like, let's work up to this.
yeah,
Let's resell,
exactly,
something cheaper.
and then get to there. Yeah.
Because we got to prove that we know how to resell first.
That's the part, and I think he thinks it's just like this easy process, like, oh, I'm gonna buy it and then just turn around and put it back on there. But I'm sure there's a lot more that goes into it.
As a reseller,
Yeah, yeah,
everything doesn't sell. You know what I mean? So,
absolutely. So yeah, so just getting him to understand, like, yeah, your mom ain't gonna have it,
yeah.
and getting him to understand that that's okay. Like, I'll get you the things that you need. That's most important.
Priorities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Priorities, child. So I'm learning. That's one of I've talked about that so many times on this podcast, but that's always like a reoccurring theme for me.
Yeah.
Just
Absolutely.
being financially grounded.
Yeah. Look, I'm like, what was the question again? Mistakes that I keep making over and over again, and I've shared this before, but expecting me out of people.
Mhm. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that that's a common theme. So I'm trying to break that habit. And with that comes not believing people when they show you who they are, right?
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, they didn't mean it. Because I wouldn't have meant it. So they don't mean it.
Mhm.
Right. So I think that that's definitely one. I hope that things are changing. I think so,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that I have that pretty bad where um I just and people have the right to have their own way of being and their own way of handling situations and their own choices and things like that. And
Mhm.
I feel like when I expect me out of them, it's actually disrespecting who they are as a person.
Yeah. Cuz that they're who they
They're
are.
being who
Like,
they people are always
yeah.
gonna be who they are. And
Yeah.
it's a choice
That
that
makes
I
sense.
make, right, not to acknowledge the fruit
Yeah.
of the tree.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That makes sense.
So I think that's definitely one.
Yeah.
Yeah. And other than that, I'd say not being consistent with like promises that I make to myself.
Mm. That's good.
Like
That's a good one for me too. Yeah. For sure.
yeah, I'm gonna get up and go to the park and walk every day.
Mhm.
But child, let it rain for 2 days in a row. It's a
Oh, yeah, it just
wrap.
throws you off, and
Or let me like get sick or something. And it's crazy because I have a treadmill at home, right? Like
yeah,
so there's so many other options, right? There's other things that I could do to accommodate, but I'll just be like, nah, because the park is what was working.
girl, listen,
And it
I feel
rained and
that.
she don't walk in the rain.
That's out,
So it's
yeah,
a wrap.
that's out, and I feel that. Jesus, I had a whole gym at my house. Like, I could literally walk
Listen,
downstairs, and I'm still like,
okay?
mm-mm,
There's so many,
can't
yeah.
go. I can't
There's
make it.
just
I'm busy.
yeah, and it's just like coming up with these fake excuses in your head,
Yes,
like,
very much
it rained.
so.
Okay, but there's a treadmill right there, like
Oh
literally right
God,
there.
here it is. Like,
You
come
want to
on,
go to a gym, you don't even need a membership. You can go to any one of the facilities that you work at and swipe in
whole
there,
gym.
or you could go to Chanel's house.
Whole gym for free. Whole
Like,
gym.
there's options, but I just be
Lord.
like, no, I think I'm just gonna eat some chili. I think we gonna go with the chip option, even though that wasn't even an option. It was like go to the park or do it at home or go to the gym, right? But it's like I think I'm just gonna eat the chips.
Man,
Yeah.
if that ain't me,
So
oh my
yeah, so
god.
I think that's
Yes.
also a reoccurring. It's like self sabotage. I'm gonna
Yes.
classify that as self
Mm.
sabotage, where it's like where you know it's good for you,
Yes.
but you make the conscious decision to not only not do it,
Yeah.
but then double down
Yes.
and do something to wreck the
Yeah. The
progress that
process.
you've made.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
So yeah,
Ooh, that sounds so familiar.
yeah, it's the self sabotage for
Oh
me.
gosh, it is. It's
And then because I had the chips, don't let the flavor of the day at Cobb's be like Turtle Sunday,
you just wow all the way
because
out.
now you're like, well, I mean, if you're gonna do it big.
Now I
When
need
have
to
I ever done
listen.
anything small? Okay.
I'm about to drink some juice, some
Listen,
soda.
okay,
Like I'm
and
just
it's crazy
gonna
because I don't
do
even
everything.
drink soda. I
Absolutely
don't
not.
even drink soda, but I'd be like, yeah, three 12 packs of ginger ale for $9.99 at Walgreens.
Sounds
Don't
good.
mind
Listen,
if I do. It was on sale.
child, if that is not me, do you
So
hear me?
yeah.
Yeah.
And then, if you did that on one day, then the next day you'd be like, well, now
I got to
it's a
finish it.
pattern. So
Yeah.
I gotta complete the pattern.
And for
You
me,
know?
for me, I'll be like, well, I gotta finish it
Yeah,
because
I
it's
gotta
still
finish it
here.
because it's still here. And we can't be wasteful. Right. Now all of a sudden you want to not be wasteful, but never mind the fact that you throw away itty leftovers. But
Now
now you don't want to be wasteful.
I gotta
Okay.
finish
Right.
this because
So
it's
it's just
here.
like the mind games in my
It
head
is.
that, equate to self sabotage.
Absolutely.
So
I'm very
so
familiar.
yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay. Hey.
Those two. Those are my two for now. I'm sure there's more.
Yeah, I
But
I got some more in the vault, but yeah. That was good.
what were the three biggest turning points in your life? Where are we at with commercials? Because I know as soon as we
We
get into
got 6
something, you're gonna be
minutes
like,
on the real.
okay, what were the three
It's 3?
biggest?
Oh
Yes,
my god.
three.
Um, okay. Well, one obviously is becoming a mom. Like that was a huge turning
You know,
point.
I know you was gonna say that, and I was like, dang, I can't do the mom one.
Oh Lord, listen, I
What
don't
do I
want you to
have?
do it either. But because when I was younger, I don't know if I ever like thought of myself as being a mom. I think I used to play. Oh, he got some in his mouth. He got some. Okay. We used to play house and stuff like that, but I never thought literally like, oh, I'm having a baby. Like
Right.
this is going
It was
to be
all
that.
fun and
It was
games
all
until
fun
an
and games.
actual human being.
Yeah, and I was like, now I'm like fully responsible for somebody. Um, so for me, that was a huge shift in my life because now I feel like I'm responsible for him. He did not ask to be born. He didn't ask to be here. So, and the choices I make directly affect him in some way, shape, or form. So I'm always thinking about that. Like, what am I doing today that's going to affect him tomorrow? And that's why I kind of beat myself up too about my finances because it's like I don't want him to, and he'll be better off than a little bit than I was because obviously he's an athlete and we know a little bit more about college and tuition and things like that. But I still want him to set up. Like, I don't want him to be like, oh, I had to get it out the mud. Like, no, like I want him to really be set up. Um, so just making different financial choices as far as like, getting him different like custodian accounts and things like that. Like now, which I wish I would have started when he was born because he would have been in a much better place, but I wasn't even ready at that point. So I guess I'm still learning. So that's one. Damn, we got 4 minutes. Two, um geez, two would be I think turning 30, like 30 onward, was like a huge shift for me of just figuring out.
Darn, that's a good one. I should have went first.
Oh dang. I was just thinking like who I am as a woman. I think in my 20s I was, I had just had JR, like I was young in a relationship. Like I wasn't really sure who I was and who I wanted to become and what I wanted to do. And now I feel like I'm starting to learn who that woman is, what I like about myself, what I like in men, what my non-negotiables are, what my boundaries are. Um, what I like sexually, like all of these things I'm starting to figure out now. And I think that's really cool that I get to really live in my skin and be who I am. So I think turning 30 was definitely a huge shift in my life. And then I think choosing to be an educator, I really feel like that's my purpose. Like, even though right now I'm in a classroom and every day I complain about it, like, oh, I don't want to do this, but I feel like I'm really good at it, like effortlessly. Like, I just go in the classroom and I kind of just do it. Like, I don't really even have to think much about it. I don't like a lot of prep doesn't go into it. It just really comes naturally to me being with little kids. So let me frame that. So these are 5-year-olds, so they're not older kids, but it just really comes naturally, and just my ability to kind of understand them, my ability to be empathetic towards them, and to let them kind of shine in their own way, are things that I really feel like I'm good at. And not only that, but I feel like people will contact me and ask me, um not really for advice, but they want to share like their wins and stuff with me, and I'm always like super supportive, and I give that same thing to the students that I did work with too. Like, I want them to feel like they can do anything, and I really feel like I'm doing a good job of that. And the same with my son too, like just making him smile. And it's been rough because he in this super teenager spot right now where it's just like he either got attitude all day, or he sleep or something. But just making him feel good and just letting him know, like, okay, like, you did so good today, just really trying to affirm him. And those are the things that I do for my students as well, even though they're not my kids, but I want them to feel like I'm great, like I could do whatever I want to do.
Yeah.
um which is good. So I think those are the three things that have made me who I am, and really have shifted the trajectory of my life, of being a mom and turning 30 and just being an educator. Like, I feel like those things really define who I am.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree. So I actually, one of my mentees asked me to write her a letter of recommendation. And of course I was like, let me find one that I already wrote, because who has time to do that?
Right. Like, you want me to think off the dome?
Right,
A
I was
whole
like,
one?
geez, you want to freestyle? I can't. No, I don't have the
It's
capacity.
out.
So like, I need to be inspired,
Yes.
right, by a previous work. And I found a letter of recommendation I wrote for you for a
Yeah.
job years ago. But that's exactly what I said.
Yeah.
Right. I said that you had an innate gift for connecting with students, and how even students that are not yours.
Mhm.
Because, and I wrote about a scenario where I saw you at a open house, and you knew every child
Mhm.
by name, even the kids that weren't yours. And that stands out to me because I'm not a person that can do that.
Yeah.
I don't remember half the people that I meet. Like, I'm just not that person. When I go into spaces, especially if I'm just out and about, like, I'm focused on whatever my mission is. So I don't even see people. Like, literally, I won't even see them. So unless I'm literally at work, or it's my job to know what your name is, then
Yeah.
I won't even know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
and it is a gift. And I recognize it as that because I don't have the capacity.
Yeah.
For real.
Hilarious.
So no, I agree. That's awesome.
Right. So we'll actually be right back. So we're going to stop it right there. But when we come back, Sherry Renee is going to share her 3. Thank you for tuning in to Brunch with Bestie show, and we will be right back.
Bye.
Catch us every Wednesday at 8 p.m. on TGN Latinx.
Are you happy with your life, money, career, or relationships? Most people are frustrated with how life is evolving around them. What if you could change one thing to turn your life into a different direction? Would you want the insight? How could you transform your life with intuitive awareness? Learn more. Get answers today. Book a free discovery session with Coach Zena, intuitive transformational practitioner. Go to www.coachzena.com or follow on Instagram, coach.askzena.
Yo, this is Jay Slee from Hollywood Unlocked, and even though they extra as hell, check out Never Not Extra on TGN Network.
That's right.
Y'all gotta have notes, cue cards, teleprompter.
Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the Podcast Pit.
What's the Podcast Pit?
I'm glad you asked. The Podcast Pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The Podcast Pit is coming.
The Podcast Pit is coming. Hey, Jackie, what's wrong?
I'm over here running around trying to tell everybody about the podcast pit.
What's the podcast pit?
I'm glad you asked. The podcast pit is an event where you will find some of your favorite podcasts performing in front of a live audience.
Will there be food and drinks there?
Of course there will be. It's at Joxer Dailies in Culver City. They have a full bar and a full menu.
Hey, I may need to tell people about this as well.
Yes, come with me. Let's tell them. The podcast pit is coming.
The podcast pit is coming.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is Alex Himes from Courtside Radio. We'd love to have you tune in every Monday and Thursday at 6:30 p.m. right here on the Good News Radio Network. Don't forget to tune in every week, people. We'll see you then.
Birthdays are meant for celebration, and when it comes to celebrating, Flour and Sugar never misses a beat. Offering custom cake designs to fit any special occasion, your cake will be the talk around town. From sushi cakes to perfume bottles, everything is always edible with flavors like Oreo, banana pudding, and our top flavor, strawberry shortcake. I can't miss. Order your special cake today by email at flourandsugarla@gmail.com or visit our website at flourandsugar.store. Or if you want to see new design, follow us on Instagram at _flour_and_sugar_.
Hey, what's up? This is Jasmine Gates. I am the host of the New Black.
Welcome back to Brunch with Besties.
Hey.
Of course, I'm Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
Our mission is to heal and help others as we heal and help ourselves through purpose-driven conversation.
Yep.
Today, we are doing the deep cards on
the best self.
The best self
Yes.
deck. And the question is, what were the 3 biggest turning points in your life? Yeah, I do think that that's a good question.
It is.
I
feel like we did that one at the Healing Chill.
I think we probably did,
Yeah.
but I don't think it was my question.
Gotcha.
So I think someone else picked it. And I'm like, what did they say? Was it good? Can I say that?
Let's say.
I'm gonna say one, I think, was going to Marquette for undergrad. And I'm gonna say that because during that time I had to work 3 jobs to get through college. It was quite the struggle. I didn't know if I was going to make it. So I had to learn a lot about myself. I had to learn a lot about faith. I had to learn a lot about who I really wanted to become. And I think that there are a lot of just pivotal moments where it was like, do I really want to do this?
Listen.
I don't know. And so I think that was a time where I was kind of, where it was like, okay, am I going to bet on me or am I not? Because I really don't know what's on the other side.
Yeah.
And I'm tired because I'm working all the time.
And going to these classes.
And I'm showing up in my uniform.
Listen.
And I'm tired. And nothing is more important than sleep.
Listen.
In my life. Like that is like, I love
it's top
sleep.
tier. It's great. Yeah.
Like naps. I actually don't even know how to nap because every time I try to nap, I actually go to sleep.
Yeah. Naps is out.
Like I'm like, I could wake up now.
Or
I
keep sleeping.
I can sleep for 6 straight
There we
hours.
go. Or the sleep is like good. Okay.
So so I think that that was just such a time where there were so many unknowns. And then I was like, I don't even know what I'm struggling for because nobody in my family went to college at that point. So it was like, I think it's going to be this great thing, this great reward at the end. But what if it's not?
Yeah. Who really knows?
What if this is all in vain?
Yeah.
So then it forced me to be a bit more strategic about what I'm studying.
Yeah.
I was like, I need to make sure that when I leave that the numbers is what the numbers need to be to make it worth my sacrifice and my lack of sleep.
Yeah.
So yes, I'm gonna say the whole college time frame. I'm also gonna say my first really big breakup.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
it's a huge turning point. That was a huge turning point. And that was a time.
What a time we had
We had a time in college. Jesus.
Yeah.
That was huge turning points though, for sure.
Huge turning
for
point.
sure.
And I think that's probably the first time that I felt like I'm gonna pick me, because I think I think first of all it was difficult for me to leave.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of back and forth there, as you all can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that overall I learned so much about myself during that time.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where I first created standards, right? Or where I first was like, okay, this right here. Excuse me, I don't know what's going on with my throat, child. But I was just like, okay, like I don't know what. I think at that time, that's where I started to realize that I even need standards, I think.
Yeah.
Because I think, before then people, when you're in high school and stuff, you don't really like, I think that the stuff that you think that you want is usually pretty superficial. Like,
It
they
is.
gotta be cute.
Yeah. Or you only know what you see.
You only know
your
what you
perspective
see.
is
Yes.
so limited at that point.
Right. So yes. And then lastly, I'm going to say like 2020, like that whole time frame,
Okay.
even like up
The
till
pandemic.
now. Yeah, the pandemic.
Okay.
You're right. Let's go there. The
Pandemic.
pandemic.
Okay.
The Panama-randa, the Ponderosa. Okay.
Yes.
The I don't know what else people have been calling it.
Listen.
Panamania. People been calling it all types.
Panamania. Everything.
But look, whatever that thing is, that.
Listen.
I think because
That's a good
couple
one.
of things, right? There was a lot of shifts that happened during that time. There was another breakup.
Yeah,
that
there
occurred.
was.
And
There was.
And then and I think, and I'm just gonna dwell there for a second because even in high school, I was never the type of girl that was like guy crazy.
Yeah.
Like I've never been that type of girl. Even now, like I'll be
No.
like, yes, they're cute, but so
Yeah,
are a lot
but,
of
right.
so are a million other men, right?
Yeah.
Like so who cares?
So who
right?
cares? Absolutely. What else about them?
So usually if I'm in, I'm like in.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. I'm like all the way in. So yeah. So I think that because I'm all the way in, it's a turning point. When things go well or not.
Yeah. It can be very traumatic too.
It could be, yes. So I think that there was
Yeah.
some trauma there.
Yeah.
But I also think that there was I ended up getting like back to back pretty significant promotions at work during that time.
Yeah.
And it forced me to grow fast.
Yeah.
Like at an accelerated speed, because now I'm in a different position and I of course can't be who I was before because that ain't gonna cut it.
Yeah.
And then it made me realize how much my work reflected my life, because I always was like, it was always quite a mystery to me how I got into the field that I'm in, because I never sought out to do it.
Yeah.
And then, and because when I was in college, I was always like, oh, how, what if this doesn't work out? Like I did all this for nothing. And then of course I graduated and there was a recession.
Yep.
So it didn't work
Yep,
out.
it didn't work.
At least not at first
Yeah.
glance. And then like that kind of put me into a depression. And then all of a sudden, I just ended up at this company doing, working where I work now. And I kind of like was reflecting on the different roles that I had and the different responsibilities and how it's a reflection of my life. Because at one point it was my job to, and this is in its simplest form, right? But to figure out who we as a company should do business with and who we should not.
Yeah.
Right. Meaning, and during the pandemic, I actually had to break up a lot of relationships.
Yeah.
So I had to be like, going forward, this is no longer going to work for us, blah, blah, blah. And every day I felt like I was finding new ways to say that. And then, of course, that also meant that there were other relationships that were going to grow and develop, or some of them just had to change.
Right.
And then it was like, yeah, how can you do that professionally, but you can't even do that personally? Like, what kind of contradiction are you?
Yeah.
That's
and
deep.
so
It's just like, okay, if you have the capacity to realize where you don't have alignment professionally, then you should be able to see that personally.
Yeah.
And then it let me know that I do see it. I just, of course, would choose not to act.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So it kind of forced me to make sure that I'm keeping house in the same way that I would for my company, right? Why can you do this and do it well according to your reviews
for
right?
them? Yeah.
For them,
Yeah.
but you suck at it.
Yeah.
In your own personal life.
Yeah, because I am my company. I'm the company.
I am Sherry Renee Inc.
There we go. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So how can you be hired to do it over here, but you're literally failing at doing it in your personal life? So I think that it caused me to really reflect and think about what type of relationships I want to have. Number one.
That's so deep.
Number two, what that needs to look like, and then number 3, which ones need to change and which ones need to end,
Yeah.
and then which ones need to grow.
Yeah.
Because actually, in the role that I was in, that would be part of my strategy. Where do I need to grow? Who do I literally like? That was literally like what I did.
Wow.
And it would be based off of where the company was going. So it made me think, well, where do I want to go? Where am I going? And what relationships are vital for that? And which ones are going to hinder it?
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that I need to chop.
Yeah.
Those got to go. So so those are the 3 things.
Dang. Yeah, that's good. Okay, so college life, college time.
Yeah, the whole college thing was just
yeah.
Look, I'm
First
just
relationship.
grateful
Yes,
that I'm still here.
Never would have made that is like the perfect song for that time, that
whole
moment in time.
I was like,
man, yes. and mine's extended a few more years, so never would have made. Oh my
like,
God.
I don't think that I was cut out for this. Like,
at
I don't know
all.
what this is. But yeah,
we
like,
was
college
definitely
rough.
blind leaving blind. Blind
It
leading
was
blind
just-
for sure.
And obviously I left a lot out, but there was just so many like back-to-back things that happened in college. Like, that's when my dad got out of jail. And
It was
like,
a lot. It
trying
was
to
a
re-enter
lot of
my
stuff.
life.
Yeah.
And then I really got to realize how much of an addict he was. I was like,
Mhm.
this is this is my life. Like, this is crazy. So, and I think that time frame, it also, I had a lack of acceptance. Like, there were so many things that I just like refused. I was like, this cannot be my life. Like, this is not it. Like, I don't even, like, it made me feel like I don't even know myself.
Oh wow, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so I feel like now it's more like, I don't think I'm fully at acceptance. Like, I think there's still some things that I'm like, okay, you still, we still healing
Okay,
over
yeah.
here. But I think that it's certainly like, no, like, this is what it is. And like, acceptance is similar to forgiveness, right? Where it's like, you can acknowledge what it is. You don't wish that it was different.
Right.
Right. And you realize what's great about it that you can use to further grow to get you where you want to be.
Yeah.
And I actually spent a lot of time regretting going to Marquette.
Yeah.
Like, if you think about it, all freshman, sophomore, and junior year, I still was working on the exit strategy.
Yeah.
I was like, because I got to go to HBCU.
Yeah.
This is not going to work. These white people don't accept me.
Mhm.
This is not cool. I'm tired of being the only black person. Nobody is I was like, even my black friends is having a regular college experience. I can't even have the regular black struggle college experience. I got to double down and like struggle.
Listen.
Like,
yes. Yeah.
Yes.
And that's a lot for 18, 19, 20-year-old to like have
I remember
to bear.
like I was on my mom's lease and I was like trying to make her rent, trying to make my rent, trying to make everything work. And I was just like, I just want to be 18.
Yeah,
like, that's all I want to do.
kid.
I just want to be 18.
Yeah.
That's it. I want to skip a class every now and again, but
Right.
I can't even do that.
I want to sleep in.
I gotta be responsible.
Listen, while my roommate
over here. Listen. Okay. Listen. I'm still mad. I don't understand. I mean, you was like, ooh, I just don't understand that. Like, literally, I would get up at the crack of dawn, and Chanel, my college roomie, would just be sleeping with a smile on her face, having the time of her life.
Snuggle and everything. Like,
I'd
how?
be like, how?
How are you
Okay?
sleep?
Why? Get up. There's stuff to do.
Listen, come on, get up now. Are you going to class today?
Listen.
Like, come on.
No, but I think that whole time. And then actually there was like bad relationship after bad relationship after bad relationship in college. If you think about it. I mean, they all suck. But it was a reflection of where I was at that time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah.
It was definitely raining during that time.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, it was raining.
I was like, okay, so y'all gonna show me every type of bad weather condition, like rain, sleet, snow, hail. Okay,
everything.
I got it. Cool.
Listen.
But I was like, I think too, part of my issue in college is that I I just kept telling myself, like, just keep going. Like, I somewhat like ignored a lot of things because I was like, I just gotta finish.
Yeah.
Like, the goal is just to finish. I don't even want to go to the graduation. I don't need none of that. I just want to finish.
Mhm.
And so I think that a lot of things I didn't really like heal from as it was happening. So it just like compounded.
Yep.
And then it was like, okay, now I graduated, but now I got a whole new set of problems.
Yeah.
And now I really am an adult for real.
Yeah.
So now I got an adult.
And it's a recession.
And it's a recession. Yeah. And I got an adult and I still haven't healed.
Yeah.
And I'm not even aware of what I need to heal from.
Yeah. I don't even know where to start.
I don't even know where to
in this
start.
thing. So yeah. That is a lot.
And do I want to start?
Right.
You know, that's another thing. Do I want to?
Last
'Cause,
episode.
you know, hey.
Do I want to? Because
listen,
ain't nobody got time for that.
I don't. And that was actually the thing. It was like stuff would happen. Like I remember my dad, at his wedding, he actually left my stepmom at the altar to go get high, and I was like, I can't really deal with this right now.
Yeah,
you know,
ain't nobody got time.
I just don't have time for this. I kind of got this other thing I got to do. You know, like I still got to work 3 jobs, go to school, try to study, try to stay up, try to sneak and sleep when I can, and pay everybody's bills because apparently I'm the one that's supposed to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just like so many things where it was just like I can't even give this attention because if I open that door, if I allow myself to cry,
yeah, because if I fall
may
apart,
never get up.
Yeah, if I fall apart, who's going to?
I'm barely being held together.
Yeah.
And listen, so yeah, it was just crazy.
Oh Lord. Ain't no room to fall apart.
There was no room.
Not at all.
You know, it was just like, you know what? I don't have the privilege to feel right now. So since I don't have that privilege, I won't even try to take it.
That's good. And that's something we discussed at the at our dinner party. The soulful conversations, we talked about that. Like, is it a luxury for Black women to like feel?
Right. And at the time I was like, yeah. And then too, when other people would have problems and they would cry or whatever, I'd be like, yep, you get to do that. That's cool. I aspire.
Wow.
To be like you. Wow.
You know, you can stop and
awesome.
cry. It's
Right.
great.
But it'd be like, no, because a lot of times I'd be like, well, you can't, because if you do, then you may not get up, and you got shit to do. So we don't really have time for that.
We got to keep on pushing. So, man, yeah.
So yeah, those are the what was the question?
3.
Yeah, those are the 3 turning points.
Yes. All right. 3 turning points. Yes.
Oh,
right.
That's your way of telling me to pick the next one.
Right. I'm like,
you're like, no, you got the cards.
Right. And I'm so ashamed I don't have no cards. My bad.
If you had to change your name, what would you change it to?
That's a deep question.
I know, right?
Okay.
Well, these questions are these are in the deep section of the card deck.
Gotcha.
So they should be deep.
They should be deep.
Mhm.
To be honest, I've never thought about this. Because I like my name. I like the name that I was given. I think it's cool. I think
it is cool.
I think I have a cool name. It looks good on paper. Like, I like aesthetically the way it looks. Like, there's nothing I don't like about my name. I don't like when people call me the wrong name and my name is Chanel. So that, and I think that a part of that bugs me too, because I make it a point to learn people's names. I think that's important. So when people say my name incorrectly, I'm like, like, put some respect on my name. Stop playing with me. Like, people call me Michelle, Chantel, Channel, like all. I'm like, no, that's not it. And it's funny after hearing about how I was named, like being my dad's 5th child, and I'm like, that's kind of ghetto, but whatever. I mean, it worked in the end.
It's only ghetto because a Black person did it.
That's true, because I'm sure white people out here are probably doing that too, but. I really enjoy my name, Chanel. I think it's cool. I like my last name too, like Warren. Like, I feel like I might have a hard time getting rid of that when I get married, because I feel like it looks fine the way it is. So that's nothing that I ever wanted to change. Definitely not my first name. My middle name is straight. I mean, I could live without it, but I mean, it doesn't really matter. But I think it flows, like it makes sense what my name is. I think my mom did a good job considering what my sister's name is. I think she did a great job. I'll just throw that out there.
Oh God!
I mean,
the shade.
just saying, like, I could have had an El Rukin name too. That's the little gang they was in. So I'm like, I'm glad I have a normal.
Really, her name is based off of that?
Yeah, like, 'cause her dad named her that, I think. So
It's
yeah,
based off the gang that he
yeah,
did?
the El
Oh, okay.
Rukin gang, man. So
Interesting.
I'm glad my mom wasn't listening to my dad on that mess, because
Yeah.
that's a hot mess. So
3 years later, we're gonna find out that the origin of your name is like gang.
it's a gang name.
Gang.
Oh man, but nah, I like it, and again, I'm always very intentional, like I said, about names and about people's names, and same thing with naming my own kid. Like, people are like, well, why is he a junior? But I feel like Michael is a very strong name. Like, I like that his name is Michael, and his name kind of flows as well. I don't know, my computer keep doing too much. But yeah, so there's nothing I would change about my name. I said all that to say that, but I like what
in
my
short,
name is.
nothing.
Right.
My name
Exactly.
is right.
My
How about
name is
that?
my name. Shout out to the
And
wire.
put some respect on
Put some
it.
respect on my name, but I think it's a dope name.
Interesting. That's interesting because I actually hated my name for most of my life.
You did.
Like, it never made sense to me. And
Yeah.
it actually made me feel like I didn't fit in my family.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody in my family, their name starts with a B.
Yeah,
so I
B.
was like, maybe I don't belong in this family. Maybe I'm not like I don't fit here.
Yeah.
Right. So
Y'all are not my
and
people.
it just didn't make sense because if I'm the youngest, then I mean it was simple.
Yeah.
Brittany.
I mean,
Brianna,
there's tons of B
like,
names. Yeah.
Hell, I don't really like Bianca, but at least it would have fit.
Hey,
Okay.
it would have made sense.
So and then two, I knew that there was something there. Like, I always questioned it. Like, I always would be like, why did you name me this?
Mm-hmm.
Because first of all, Sherry, especially when you're a child, people think that you're an old white woman. Okay, when your name is Sherry. Also, when you're in high school and you're dating, nobody thinks Sherry's a bad bee. Like,
Sherry.
they not like, oh, let me call Sherry. You know, like, nobody says that. Like,
Yeah, when you younger, it's like, what?
Yeah.
And your name
Or
like
like,
never
you
in the
know,
cool song.
Yes, it was never in the cool songs.
Like,
and,
come on.
You know, like, I remember my first boyfriend, like, he would be like, yeah, that I met this girl named Sherry. And I'd be like, don't say my name. Like, that don't even sound
Like,
right.
what?
That don't even sound good.
Aww.
Like, Keisha, Tiffany, something else.
Because it was the names. It was the cool names.
But I'm just like, I don't know. Like, I don't like this.
Mm.
I didn't really feel connected to it.
Yeah.
I actually would have people call me a different name.
That is
like,
so
when I would meet people, I'd be like,
funny.
nah. And then at my first job, my name tag said something else because I would be like,
really? What did it say?
This girl was my middle name.
Okay.
I was like, y'all don't know me.
Hilarious.
And then too, when people call me, like, I know how people know me by what they call me.
Yeah.
So I also was like, I don't want people to say, because I'd be like, my mom? Like, why are you calling me that?
Hilarious.
So yeah, I actually protested it for quite a bit. Didn't like it, didn't want it, wasn't connected to it. And then I kept asking my mom, like, why did you name me this? Like, this doesn't make sense. And then I found out that it was my uncle's mom, so my white grandmother. So that makes sense why she would pick a white name.
There we go.
Right?
Hey.
Sherry.
There we go.
But then I found out what really happened is because my dad was addicted to drugs and my mom went into labor. She was like, hurry up and name her before he gets here. I don't want him naming her. And I was like, so you didn't even think about what to name me when all the work was already done, right? Because all of y'all names start with B. So there really wasn't a lot of work that needed to be done. It was just like Brittany or Brianna.
One or the other.
Which one?
Which one?
Okay, because we're going with the B.
There we go.
But no, so she was there. My uncle's mom was there, and she was like, "Oh, name her Sherry." And she's like, "Cool, put that on the birth certificate," and that was it.
Oh wow,
yes.
That's the name and story.
But it's crazy because I knew it. Like, I knew, because I was just like, this doesn't make sense. So even as a child, I always was like, now why? Because I kept when people keep asking you the same question, it's because they know you ain't telling them the whole story.
The whole truth.
Because they know that this ain't true.
There we go.
Right? But it was my uncle because he was old enough to know.
Yeah.
Right? He's the one who told me. He was like, yeah. She was like, Because mom was just like, oh, your other grandmother name. And I was like, why would you have a grandmother removed who ain't really my grandmother? Like, that don't even make sense. Aww. I don't even know her. You know what I'm saying? Like, that makes no sense.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but over time, I've learned that Sherry means beloved. It
Yep,
means
it
love.
does.
It means beloved. My Sherry Amore, my
Yep.
dear love. And I think that your name has a lot to do with your purpose, right? That everyone's name is intentional, whether you agree with it or not, whether you like it
Whether
or
you like
not,
it or not.
right? Like your name is what people call you. So when
Yep.
people say Sherry,
Yep.
which I prefer that they don't, by the way,
Yeah.
but when they do, they're saying my beloved, right? My dear love.
Yep.
So I've learned to accept it. Now I still don't necessarily like it. It doesn't sound good to me.
Yeah.
But I have learned to accept it. I think that it is who I am.
Yeah.
And I think that it is I think that it's part of just the whole journey of finding purpose and finding who you are. So
Yeah.
but again, I know like when people call me certain things, I'd be like, that's not, you don't know me. You don't really know me.
Yeah.
Because if you
Not
did,
at all.
you wouldn't do that.
Dang. Yeah.
So
that is interesting because I think,
oh, so the question but the funny part is I always said that I should have been Brittany or Brianna.
Yeah.
But then when my dad ended up getting remarried, which also was a stab in the front or the back. I don't know because they names all start with B too.
That
and
is
I was like,
funny.
you've got to be effing kidding
Listen,
me.
said, first of all,
That even my step family,
yes, are bees?
oh,
Oh,
ain't
nah.
no, right? So I can't fit into my family, my step family. I don't fit in nowhere, right? But my sister's name is Brittany, and my other sister's name is Brianna. So ergo, why I could not be
There we
Brittany or
go.
Brianna, right? But
Listen.
I wouldn't know that because my dad didn't get married till I was in college,
Yep.
so I would not have known that. But I do think that it's intentional, right?
Yeah,
Whether
yeah.
my mother or white grandmother meant to do it on purpose or not, right? I think that God knew, right?
God be
You
knowing.
cannot be
Yep.
Brittany and you cannot be Brianna because your siblings
Yep.
are Brittany and Brianna.
Because I need you to be this. You gonna
And
be this
unfortunately, or fortunately, whatever, I need you to be Love.
There we go.
I need you to be Sherry.
Fortunately, yes, because that's what it's given
I'm like,
all the time.
Can you give a different name? For that? I don't like
Listen.
how it sounds. It don't sound like Love.
But your first
It
name and your
just
middle
sound-
name definitely goes. Like it flows.
It flows.
It
but,
does.
Whatever. So yeah, so I wanted either Brittany or Brianna, but upon further review, I now understand and accept
It wasn't meant
why
for you.
that's not okay.
Yeah. It wasn't for you.
It wasn't for me.
And that's okay.
Yes.
And think about when you have children though, like how intentional you will be with that
yes.
process too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So it's definitely gonna
Yeah.
hit you.
They dad gonna
differently.
be like, what? What's your name?
But I love that. Like Symphony, like all her kids' names
Yes.
really mean something. Her kids have the dopest names like
Yes.
ever too. Like her name is super dope in
Yeah.
itself.
Oh, they
So
name's
it's like,
definitely gonna mean something.
yes, I love that.
And actually, and the other part, because you were talking about your last name, I remember telling probably you and others, I was like, when you get married, I was like, I would drop that last name so fast.
Said what?
You ain't got to worry about me, okay?
You ain't got to worry. What?
Propose, and I'm gonna be at the
Listen.
daggone courthouse. He's gonna be
Listen.
like, I don't know if we still gonna get married. It don't matter.
It don't, because now this is my name.
My name is changed.
I'm just saying.
It don't even. Okay, fine. Take your ring. I don't care. I just want a different name.
It's done. We're done here.
No, but I think that before, the reason why I was so willing to drop my last name is because I was like, I don't feel connected to my family anyway. Like I just felt like I don't fit here. I don't belong. I'm like the eyeball out. I'm trying to, change a lot of patterns in my familial line. Right. It's quite difficult, and it just always felt like I don't really belong. Like I don't really fit. So it just was like, hell, burn the last name. I don't care. It doesn't mean anything.
So I can cut ties with this person.
Right. Exactly. And I think that I wanted to cut ties.
Yeah.
I think that I literally wanted not that like I hate my family, because that's not it. But I certainly had a difficult time accepting my mom being an alcoholic, my dad being addicted to drugs, just so many different things, not in my entire family line, but in my direct family line, in my immediate family. So initially I was like, cut it. But now I'm like, I'm still gonna drop that thing. Okay.
Flip tip.
Bye.
You're out.
Right.
Okay.
But now I have accepted it.
Yeah.
And I feel like I know my place.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm not supposed to be the same, right? I'm supposed to be different. That's why my name doesn't fit. That's why I don't fit, is because I'm supposed to be different.
That's good.
Same thing with Marquette, right? The whole thing, like
Yes.
I wasn't supposed to be like everybody else. And I've grown to accept that in most situations, my way or my path is probably not going to be like
Like
everybody else.
everybody
And I think
else's.
that that's
Yeah.
symbolism with my name
Mm,
being different.
that's good. Yeah, that's good. All right, let us get to this break, y'all. Thank y'all for listening to Brunch with Bestie show. We will be right back.
Bye.
Soon. So follow us and follow TGN Podcast Pit. Have a good day, guys.
You're seriously watching porn by yourself? Oh, wait, that's the wrong script. Oh, that's right. I'm here to talk about the Primos Chidos radio show, live every Thursday at 12 from the TGN Latinx station. Make sure you tune in for some laughs, maybe some crying, and definitely some stupid takes. I'll see you guys there.
Are you trying to buy a home, car, or make other investments and being discriminated against because of your credit score? At credit909.com, our professionals can help you remove judgments, student loans, child support, medical bills, and other erroneous and negative items on your credit report. Call 800-752-9763 today for a free credit analysis and consultation, or text credit to 909-688-5461.
Hey everybody, it's your girl Sharique LeMay, and make sure you are checking out Limelight Live Show on TGN Talk 7 p.m. every single Thursday. That's right, we're talking creative news and reviews and the best of it. Catch us then.
Hey, Jackie.
Welcome back to Brunch with Besties.
Hey.
I'm Sherry Renee.
And I'm Chanel.
We are doing these
Why are you looking at me
amazing
like that?
questions. Chanel's being distracted by the puppy.
Sorry, guys.
He was sleeping.
He was
And when we
knocked
hit
out.
that commercial break, it was a little loud and he jolted and woke up.
No.
And he's like, just let me sleep.
Right. He looks so tired, too.
He is.
No.
He's had a full day.
Listen.
He has.
No.
So yes, we are just continuing to go through our deep questions.
All right.
And we're going to pick it back up.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't have an answer for this yet. So good thing is you first, child.
Okay. Oh, love. Let's see.
What was the hardest decision you've ever had to make?
Wow. That's a pretty deep one. Dang, that's a good one. And I'll just say this. So I think becoming a mom was the hardest decision I had to make. And in the climate of, pro-life, pro-choice, like I think those things did cross my mind at the point where it's like I wanted a baby, but then, as I got closer to delivery, it was like,
like, am I really gonna do this? Like, mom is, you gotta do that for the rest of your life.
For the rest of your life. Like,
Yeah.
you are responsible for a whole human
Yes,
for the
yeah.
rest of your life. And a lot of moms feel guilt and they don't want to say like what their life would have or could have or should have been had they not had children.
Right.
But those are things that I do think about. Like, what would my life be like had I, been a little more responsible in college and been a little more like, nah, like, I don't want to play house. Like, this is not the time to do this. I do wonder what my life will be like. And, I really think I'm pretty sure I would not live in Milwaukee. Like, I would have just been out here, like, living my best life, I think. And that would have been okay. So I think making the choice to be a mom and be engaged and active, like, those are everyday choices when you have a kid. Like,
Yes, they are.
parenting is one thing. Just to have a kid and just be with them is one thing. But to really be engaged and involved, like, that takes a different level of, I don't even know where it comes from. Like, you just got to get up and do it. There are days when I'm dead tired. If my son come in my room like I'm sick, hey, I got to get up. I got to make it happen. Or if he's like, okay, well, you got to come to my school. I need this, or I have to go to this tournament in Kentucky tomorrow. Like, I got to make it happen. Like, I have to make it work for him. And that's not even being like with his dad. It's just all the stuff that I do on my own. And I'm grateful for the co-parent that I have because he does a phenomenal job. But I still think like we made that choice to be parents and then to be co-parents and make that work for our son.
Yeah.
Is something where I'm just like, that was a huge decision. I think that being a co-parent was much harder for me than actually being to having a baby, period. Because I never wanted that for my kid, for myself. Like I know what that's. Well, I don't really know what co-parenting is like. My dad was a ghost, so I don't know what he was doing. But I just had this ideal of if I was gonna have children, it was gonna look different than what my situation was growing up. And I guess in hindsight, it does look different than my situation growing up. I mean, JR does have both of his parents. He lives with both of his parents. He has a great relationship with both of his parents, but I still didn't want that. So having to go co-parent with somebody, I was just like, nah, this ain't what I want to do, because I didn't know what the other side was gonna look like. You know, you go into that unknown. But now I know what I know, and I'm like, I'm glad we made that decision to be amicable. Yes, yes. I'm glad we made that decision to do that and make it work for the sake of our kid. Because I do think he's a better kid because of that.
Yeah.
That he has both of his parents, and he has like all of these people who love him and care about him. Versus like me being that bitter, you know, mama, like, oh, your dad ain't S, and you know, we hate him.
And you just like him.
Yeah, right. You
With the
just
same
like him.
name.
Yes,
Right.
the he man, the he woman man hater type of club. So I'm glad, you know, we did make the conscious decision to do that, but that was a hard decision to make. Because I wanted so much to fall into what I knew. Like I knew I'm about to put you on child support. I'm gonna be petty, like I'm gonna be mean, because that's what I saw. So for me to have to figure out like
Insert baby mama role, right? Like,
right.
let me do all the things.
Listen,
Yeah.
let me do all of the things that I can do. I'm gonna make your life miserable. Like I'm gonna be a hater. I'm gonna keep the kid away from you. And you know, I tried it for a couple weeks. It was literally short lived.
And then you're like, you know what? That doesn't work. I'm just gonna
Yeah.
lay down baby mama, and I'm gonna pick up co-parent.
I picked it up so fast. I was like, upon further review,
This isn't who I am.
This is not who I am, and we're gonna have to co-parent because this is out. This is a big no for me. So I think that was a huge. That was it, man. Like that was something
According
where
to the handbook, I should be
Ooh,
slashing tires and busting
I'm
windows.
just saying, like that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Like, no, I need you to get money for me. Like, I need money for me and the kid. Like, no, I'm gonna make your life miserable. I'm be calling you and your wife at all hours of the night because I'm
Just to
just
stir
pop
the pot,
over, just
you
to
know.
stir the pot, you
Just
know,
for fun.
a little razzle dazzle every now and then. But you know, that's definitely not my character and who I am. I just really wanted JR to feel like, okay, I can go to my dad, I can go to my mom, I have a bonus mom, I have grandparents on both sides that love me and care about me. Like that was most important for me, that he had everything he needed. And I'm so glad we were able to do that. Because a lot of people don't get to do that, and they are in like toxic kind of blended family situations. And for me, it was like, ain't nobody got time for that. Like, I'm trying to heal and figure out why I am the way I am. Like, I can't give this to my son, and now he has to heal from some stuff that I intentionally put him through. So yeah, but it was hard, man. That was probably one of the hardest things that I've had to do in my 35-year-old life, was to bring life into this world, and then to make the conscious decision to be a positive co-parent.
What was the turning point? Like, what made you switch and be like, you know what? Wrong script. Let me
That
pick
is
up this
funny.
other one.
I remember vividly, actually. So I remember because at this time, my son's dad and I had lived together. But then I moved out once the relationship. I realized it was like a wrap. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna move out. And I ended up going to live with my mom. And it was just such a sad time. So my mom is, and I love my mama, but she only knows what she knows as well. So she's kind of in my ear telling me, okay, you gotta do this, you need to do this. Like, oh, forget him. And I'm just like, but I love him. Like, sad. Like, no. But then I started to listen to her. Like, okay, so one day, me and him must have been on the phone, like, arguing. JR is little. Like, he has to be like 3 or 4 at this point. So he's pretty small. But we're arguing and I'm crying. And, your kids, they're very, like, observant. So he's like, don't cry, mommy. Like, what's wrong? And I'm just like, ah. But then I must have told his dad something crazy, like, yeah, he not ever coming back over there. Like, you not gonna see him. It's funny now, thank God. But he was like, girl, you must have lost your please. He
says you out your MFing mind, okay? Because what you're not doing. Listen, you ain't gonna never see him again.
And if
but I
y'all
am.
know anything about JR dad, y'all know that's not really
That
his
is not
character
him at
either.
all. That
But
is
he
funny.
was so out, like, you must be out your rabbit ass mind if you think. He was so mad at me, like, girl, good night. And that was the turning point. Like, I was like,
You were like, oh, he called my bluff. He knows that I actually will not infect.
I was like, just kidding, JK. Like, psych your mind. And he was not having it. Like, with whatever I was about to tell him and go in on him with, he was like, you're lying. Like, good night.
Do you remember in 2020, it was this meme that went viral and it was like, me, 2020 is going to be an amazing year. And then it was like, narrator, 2020 was in fact not an amazing year.
And that is how that conversation went. I was like, oh, I'm about to get him with this. I'm about to tell him.
And narrator was like, in fact, this is the opposite of what's going to happen.
I just knew I had that in the bag. Like, you ain't never gonna see him. And woo, woo, woo. He was like,
listen,
stop playing with me.
Okay.
Like,
Matter of fact, I'm on my way.
First of all, like, I'm coming to get my son. I don't know what you're talking about. Like, no.
So,
so that was the turning point for me to be like, why? Why you want to be like this? Because this not even you. Like, you don't have that. You're not built for that. Like, the attitude.
Like, you got to keep it up.
Yeah,
like
right.
Too much.
Like, now I got to do this all the time.
When you could just choose peace.
Right. And then, listen, I had to go to class. I was still in school at this time, so I got to go to school. I got to go to class. Somebody got to pick JR up.
Actually, look, if you and old girl want to keep the baby together, help me.
Help me.
Okay.
Oh,
help.
You got a girlfriend? All right. Can she pick him up at this time? Because I'm definitely,
Let's have a
mom.
conference call so we can all figure out the schedule.
Let's get it going because I need help. Okay.
Look, you want to take him where for the whole week? Yes.
I'm just saying.
Tell me what to pack, sis.
Tell
me what to pack for him.
What to
Do
pack?
I need to send snacks?
Oh my God.
Matter of fact, I'm going grocery shopping. Do y'all need something?
What y'all need?
Okay.
Listen.
Look.
Because we a team at this point.
As far as I'm concerned.
We are together. We are a team, listen,
That
all
is
together.
funny.
So that was a turning point where I was just like, okay, he's not your dad. So you don't get to treat him, the way that your mom had to treat your dad because that nigga was out. Like he was doing what he wanted to do.
Right.
But this dude is here. Like he wants to be a part of his kid's life. So don't take that away from him. Give that to him. And a couple years showed me, like, once we started to do the week on, week off, best decision we've ever made. Because my week off, I was like, oh my God.
You said, matter of fact, I would like to add that to the turning point in my life.
Listen,
back to that question.
Back to that. Like, that was it, where it was just like, I can do so much and get so much done, and I can feel like a woman, and I can really, like, do the things that I need to do. This sounds so selfish, but God bless the moms who own 24/7. God bless you, because I don't know what that's like. I'm definitely blessed, and where it's just like I get how many weeks is it? 52 weeks in a year, so half of that I get to do what I want to do, and most moms don't get that.
Yeah,
they don't know what that's like, but I do, and I'll never like downplay that, ever.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah,
listen. Woo.
Yeah. Woo. Yes.
That's one of those moments where it's
it was huge.
Who do I want to be, and does it align with what I want my future to look like?
Absolutely.
And what's the impact?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Because when I tell you that boy loves his daddy.
Oh yeah, he definitely does, and always has. Even when he was like an infant, like he would see his daddy come in, he would just light up. Me, it would be like, like sometimes,
like,
yeah,
I can take her or leave her.
There's mom,
but dad, that's where it's at.
But now that he's getting older, it's starting to switch because dad is obviously on his ass because he knows like he's gonna push him, yeah. And now it's like mom, like JR got in my bed the other day and just like snuggled, like he's very like loving. So yeah,
that's sweet.
Yeah. So it took a while to switch, but here we are. And people be saying like, oh, he look just like you now. So I'll be like, okay.
We have not said that. I just want y'all to know we have not said that to her
now
yet.
You're lying.
We still saying he looked like his dad. Okay. That is it.
Said now you is lying, girl. Don't even go there.
I mean, if that's what you want to tell the people.
I mean, whatever you tell
So we
yourself to
lying
sleep
on
at
the show
night.
now.
Right. So now you're just a liar. Okay. That's what it is.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was it. That was a turning point. Like that was the one of the most impactful decisions I've had to make in my life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So you had a few minutes to think.
I know, and I came up with nothing.
I
No.
said, what do I
No,
have here?
actually, I was thinking, I was like, I don't know that I've had anything that's like life that I would consider to be like life altering that was like difficult. But I think it's an ongoing theme of just choosing myself.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
I think
That's huge.
that unfortunately can be a hard decision for me because I think that I naturally always consider the impact to other people
Yeah.
and how they're going to feel about it or what they need or how can I minimize the impact to them. But then one day I realized what it cost me to
Yep.
do that. And a lot of times I realized that I actually have to abandon myself to like tiptoe around other people when they have no problem
Mm-hmm.
letting things fall.
Yep, where they are.
when it comes to me. So I think that that's probably been the hardest decision is just like an ongoing commitment to be like, okay, but what do I need? Right. And how does that serve me? Oh, it doesn't? Then why am I here? Right. Or why am I doing it? Because typically I would talk myself into it, but such and such needs me, or I got to do this for such and such. But
Yeah.
it's like, am I really responsible for such and such's life?
Exactly.
Or am I responsible for my life?
Yep. Because
Right.
again, if I don't take care of me,
Who will?
who will?
Right. So I think that
That is like a common thread.
yeah, I think that that's been a common thread where it's just like, you know what? Like and I think it's because I feel like a lot of people don't see people.
Mm-hmm.
Like they look at them from the lens of an extension of them or like how they serve them.
Yeah.
Like, oh, I need such and such to do this for me. I need such and such to do that for me. This person is that role in my life, blah, blah, blah. But it's like they don't really see them as a person. And I try to really see people as people. So if I know, like sometimes like you don't even got to tell me how important something is. Like I get it because I see you, right? Like
Yeah.
I'll be like, no, I got to do that because that's a thing. You know, you don't got to tell me it's a thing. I know it's a thing because I know it's a thing, right? But there's times where I feel like I'll like I said before, kind of like abandon myself to make sure that I'm doing those things, or even if maybe I shouldn't,
Yeah.
right? Or if it's too taxing, I'll still be like, oh no, but I got to do it because blah, blah, blah. But it's just like, do I? Or is that something that I created in my own head? And I do that because I feel like a lot of people don't see me.
Yeah.
Right. So if I know something means something, or if I know something is important, I try to do it, or I try to be there, or I try to look past things that I probably shouldn't.
Yeah.
Because I'll be like, oh, well, they do that because they da 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 da. Right. But it's like that's really just making excuses for folks, and you're enabling bad behavior when you do that. And then I think it's also because I feel like there were a lot of times where I was hurting and I was struggling, and I felt like no one helped, or there was no assistance, or I just kind of felt like I was in it by myself. Like I just felt so alone. So if I feel like I know someone is struggling, the worst thing I want, like the last thing I want them to be, is alone.
Right.
You know, but now, and actually it really, like, especially if I am aware, like a lot of times if I see something, I'll be like, you don't have, like, this is not your responsibility.
Yeah, that's good.
You may not be assigned to them. Mind your business.
That's good.
And sit down.
Yeah.
Right. Because then a lot of times what happens is I found myself doing a lot for people when they were in bad situations, when maybe I should not have. I think that there's times when you should, but I think there's also times where you should not.
Yeah.
I mean, it's based off of your capacity and if you are assigned to do that,
Yep.
right? And I think that then they lean on you, like that becomes your role in their life.
Yep.
It's a crisis.
Every time. Yep. So let
Call
me call.
Sherry.
Yep. And she gonna
Right.
figure it
And
out.
she gonna figure it
help you
out,
through.
right?
Yep. Absolutely.
But it's like, honey, I'm not Olivia Pope.
Listen, it is not. What did she be
Can't do
saying?
it.
It is not solved or whatever she said. Like it's handled. That's what she says.
It is not handled.
It is
I mean,
not
it's handled if you handle it,
right?
but I ain't
But
handling
she ain't
because I
handling it.
actually have my own life.
There we go.
Right, and so it's almost like
Mhm.
I was playing this like character in everyone's movie
Yeah.
or show.
You were the Olivia
But it's
Pope.
like
Yeah.
I got my own show, and that's being
starring me.
Yes, and that's actually something that I'm not giving any attention to.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right, like I'm totally like, oh, let me put my show on pause or on
Uh-huh.
hold because you have a crisis,
Yeah.
and oh, now you have a crisis, and now this other person has
Mm.
a crisis. So it's like, okay, but again, I'm abandoning me,
Yeah.
right?
Every
And
time.
then
Yep.
when I have a crisis, who am I gonna call, the Ghostbusters?
Exactly. Where you at was that?
Right.
Listen. I'm just saying. Listen. Who's gonna be
Right,
there for me?
exactly.
Okay.
And then not only that, but then
Mm.
the perception is like, well, we don't need to be there for you because you got it.
Yep. You'll figure it
You'll
out.
figure it out.
Mm.
Even though, and then there's times where I would actually be like, I need help. Now, mind you, I don't say that I need help quite often. So
Not
when I do, it
hardly
is
ever.
past
Yeah.
the
It's an
time.
emergency.
It is. This is not like if I say I need help, this is not a drill.
It's a code red.
This is not a test. That means that we are in dire need.
Yeah.
Right. So I feel like even when I would express that I need help, people would literally, the responsibility, oh no, you know you got this, or you know you could do it. It's like, bitch, I just said I need help.
Right.
I literally just said it. Okay, I don't know how much more
Right.
clear
In
we could be.
English.
I literally just said that I do not, in fact, have it.
I
Okay?
need help. Help.
Help.
H-E-L-P. Help
Okay,
me.
help me.
Jeez.
So yes.
Mm.
So yes, I'm gonna say that the hardest decision that I made has just been making it a priority and a pattern
That's
to
good.
choose me.
Every single time. Yes.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I love that. I love that. Yes. Because it's, yeah. You are the star
Of my own show.
of your show. Absolutely. And ain't
Listen.
nobody pausing. We not TiVoing. We not saving
We
it
ain't
for
doing
later.
none of it.
No, I'm gonna
Because
take
time
care of
don't
me now.
stop for nobody.
Never. It doesn't.
Right. And I think that when I would see that when I needed help,
Mhm.
that it wouldn't even be like it would feel like, well, no, you good, you
Yeah.
got it, you all right,
Mm.
or we gonna make fun of your situation or
Mhm.
whatever. And it's just like, well, that's interesting because this looks like a one-sided relationship.
Yeah.
And guess what I don't do? One-sided
Listen.
relationships. Because guess what? My job is to figure out who we do relationships with at another company. So let me do that here.
In my life.
In my life.
Listen.
Right. So let me apply the
Mm.
principles that I have learned to decide who and when I should be in a relationship with, and let me apply that to my own life.
Facts.
So because look, one thing that we gonna do is reciprocity. And if we can't do that, then it doesn't work.
It doesn't work. And I'm gonna be out the door. Listen.
It's a strong no.
Listen. Ooh, yes. I love it. That's what's up.
Yes.
All
So
right.
what are we going to
To-go
put in the
box.
to-go box?
We made it. We made it through. I thought this was gonna be a short episode, but we made it. All right. I'm definitely going to take away. These cards were good. I'm gonna take away. Just thinking about the 3 turning points in my life. I like that question. The 3 things, because I think those things can change as I continue to grow and evolve and to age, obviously. That those things can shift and change. So I'm looking forward to some other pivotal moments to happen in my life and how those will change the trajectory of my life at that point. So that's what I'm taking away.
Yeah, I'm taking away how important it is to do introspective work so that you can be conscious about your future actions, right? Because you are your actions, right? That's just really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
And I think while sometimes we may know some of the answers, right? Because if I asked you next year, you'll probably say the same thing, unless something traumatic happens, of course.
Right.
But I think that it's good to actually take the time to articulate it, because then it allows you to organize your thoughts and to understand the why, so that going forward, it'll help impact your life the way that it needs to.
That's good.
Right. So that it's like, okay, I chose to be a co-parent versus being a not being, instead of being like a bitter baby mama,
Yeah.
because I'm concerned about the well-being of my child. I need help. Da, 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 da. This is a community. So then your next actions with your son and with his your co-family,
Mhm.
right, is one that's productive,
Yeah.
right? Even in times where things get hard, it's like, you know what's best? Like, let me go back to the why.
Mhm.
Listen,
You got to stay going back to
listen.
the why.
We're gonna get to the why. He
Yeah.
needs this, so how can we
Yeah.
get these shoes for him so he can resell? I'm just playing. I'm just playing.
So you can resell about here.
How can we start? How can we as a co-parent unit
Listen.
start this reselling business?
Listen, that might be a conversation we need to have because that boy.
Maybe.
Listen, I
No,
love it.
But yeah, and I think too, even me just articulating things and saying it out loud, it just kind of
Yeah.
forces me to think like, well, what was hard?
Yeah.
And then it makes me conscious of, okay, am I doing that today?
Exactly.
Did I choose me today?
I was just about to say that. Am I still choosing me
right?
today?
Because when I didn't go walk at the park, was I choosing me? Probably not.
Listen, I ate them chips. Man.
Listen, I chose chips instead of me.
Man, they be good though.
Listen, okay. Listen.
We are the chip queens.
I don't
so
even
good.
know how that happened.
Listen, so good. But nope,
it's
that's
okay.
good. Am I choosing me every day and in this moment?
Chips 10, me 0.
Dang. But there's tomorrow.
There's always tomorrow.
There is tomorrow. Don't worry. And tomorrow it'll be me.
Yes. I'm gonna be like, finish him.
There we go. Yes.
Mortal Kombat.
I love it.
Thanks for tuning in to Brunch with Besties. Until next time,
Heal.